You're watching Channel 5 and My 5, a whole hour of the stories behind the headlines now with CL and Dan. It's 5 News at 5.
Good evening. Welcome to 5 News with me, Dan Walker.
And me, Claudia-Liza Vanderpuije.
Tonight, racist, misogynistic and homophobic. The country's biggest police force faces its most damning criticism yet, and an ultimatum to sort it out or the Metropolitan Police will be broken up.
They are institutionally, organisationally, systemically, whichever word you want to use, they are homophobic, sexist and racist, and that can't be right.
Also tonight, the death of a well-respected head teacher has sparked a nationwide debate about whether Ofsted needs an overhaul.
Are you confident your evidence will clear you, Mr Johnson?
The former Prime Minister finally admits he did mislead Parliament over Partygate, but insists he didn't mean to.
And the holes that send us all potty.
Driven over one of these recently, they can be a nightmare for motorists, but apparently an even bigger headache to sort them out. I've been finding out why.
From across the UK, this is 5 News.
Good evening. When you see a picture like this, how do you feel? Safe or unsafe? Well, if it's the latter, a shocking new report out today explains why. Britain's biggest police force, the Metropolitan Police, has lost the trust of the public. It is racist, it is sexist, and it's homophobic. These are the damning conclusions of a year-long review sparked by the death of this young woman, Sarah Everard. She was kidnapped, raped and murdered by a serving police officer 2 years ago. A serving police officer. It's worth repeating. And go back 30 years and Stephen Lawrence was murdered in a racist attack in southeast London. The failure of the police then to catch his killers led to the force being branded institutionally racist. Well, today we learned that not much has changed, 3 decades on. We're doing a lot on this report tonight because although it's about the Met, the findings affect every police force in the country, wherever you're watching. Julian Drucker has our first report, and it begins with some of the most shocking personal testimonies of those who spoke to the author of the review. Tessa, thank you very much for that. And we should say that if you've been affected by any of the issues that you've seen in Tessa's report tonight, you can get help from the Samaritans. And we've put their website on the screen for you tonight. And as you can tell from that report, Asiel, it's a really... It divides opinions, doesn't it, Ofsted? What do you think? We'd love to hear your thoughts on it this evening. Are you a teacher, a parent? Maybe you're an Ofsted inspector.
Yeah, and remember, you can be anonymous. Don't have to give your name, but we would love to hear from you. WhatsApp us on the 5 phone, 07555 500 501. Get in touch. As always, you can also contact us on socials. That's Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. I'll be reading out some of your messages a little later in the programme.
It is a really busy programme tonight. Lots to fit in. Lots more coming your way, including...
One of the worst experience of my life, this is. It's been absolute hell.
Speaking out, the man who was wrongly accused of trafficking 22-year-old Eleanor Williams opens up to 5 News about his ordeal.
And you will never guess how much it's going to cost to solve Britain's pothole problem.
Oh, we hate potholes, but we love talking about them. What are you doing there?
It's a lot of money.
Claire, it's a lot. Claire's got the forecast.
Hello there, good evening. Coming up, all the details of your weather for the next few days. It's rinse and repeat. Yes, rain showers, sunshine, strong winds. I'll see you later.
We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back. Now, we should tell you the next part of the programme does include some pretty grim details. We're talking about this woman, Eleanor Williams, and what she did. She is currently serving 8.5 years in jail for perverting the course of justice after she lied about being raped, beaten and trafficked abroad. But we're speaking to a man behind that story, Mohammed Ramzan, a father of 4 and a businessman from Barrow. In 2019, he was arrested and accused of being the head of a grooming gang. Now, all those claims have been proven to be false. I sat down with Mohammed and we started by talking about the day that changed his life forever. And just a warning again that some of what he talks about is pretty harrowing.
Wow, Dan, what an incredible interview. I just got to say thank you to Mohammed for taking the time to talk to us, telling us his story, what he went through.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's really hard to get your head around, putting yourself in his position. But yeah, it was great that he was able to come in here and go through it. I think that really helped him, actually. He said that afterwards.
I can imagine. Well, look, we've got plenty more still to come, actually, so much more. After the break, we're going to be returning to our top story. We're going to be hearing from the woman behind today's damning report into the Metropolitan Police, Baroness Casey herself.
And also, you'll hear from the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. He's going to be defending his handling of the scandal, which he calls one of the darkest days in police history.
We did say a lot coming up. We're going to have a quick look at the weather now, though. See you in a bit.
Piles raining on your parade? Weather on 5, sponsored by Anusol Soothing Relief Suppositories.
It turns wet and windy overnight tonight with further showers tomorrow, but also some sunshine in the southeast. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Piles stealing your thunder? Weather on 5, sponsored by Anusol Soothing Relief Suppositories.
Thanks for being with us tonight on 5 News. The time has just gone 5:30. Here are the top 5 things you need to know today. The pressure is mounting on Ofsted following the suicide of this head teacher. Ruth Perry's family want a review of the education watchdog because they believe she took her own life as a direct result of the pressure she was put under. We've already had a special report on that tonight. Next, the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson has today accepted he misled Parliament over lockdown parties at Number 10. He says he did not do it intentionally or recklessly. Our third story this evening, we've heard from Mohammed Ramzan, the man falsely accused of trafficking the 22-year-old Eleanor Williams. He took us through his ordeal. He says he's planning now to sue the police. Potholes is our fourth story. New research has revealed that shortfalls in repair budgets are at a record high for councils in England and Wales. Apparently the cost of fixing them all is £1.3 billion. And our top story tonight, Britain's biggest police force, the Metropolitan Police, has been accused of being institutionally racist, misogynistic and homophobic in a report released today by Baroness Casey. We're going to get some more on that story for you right now, into that culture at the Metropolitan Police. Earlier we spoke to the report author, Baroness Casey of Blackstock, and we began by asking her whether she was shocked by the scale of her findings. So that was the Mayor of London talking to CL earlier on today. We heard from the author of that report as well. But on the 5 phone this evening, we asked you about one of our other big stories. That was to do with Ofsted inspections, because we heard about the head teacher who sadly took her own life because of the pressure that she was under. What have we been getting on the 5 phone?
Yes, I did say, you don't have to give your name if you actually work for Ofsted, or indeed you're a teacher and you did get in touch, didn't give your name. In fact, this person didn't give their name, but they say, I am an early years childcare provider and it took me over a year to get over my horrific inspection. Mark from Merseyside, meanwhile, says, I think all schools should be accountable for how they perform. Stephen has said most Ofsted inspections don't reflect the good that staff do to teach and protect young people, and inspections can lead to staff feeling quite crushed and demoralised. So, yeah, just getting this mixed bag from people. Another teaching assistant didn't give their name as well, but they say a secondary school, they're teaching assistant in a secondary school, and they are increasingly concerned at the levels of stress that they see on the faces of teachers on a daily basis. Excellent teachers are leaving the profession as a direct result of that. Thank you so much for your messages.
Yeah, brilliant to hear some of those comments tonight. We're going to take a little bit of a break. In a few minutes' time, find out why you might be damaging your cars in those pesky potholes we have to drive over every now and again.
We'll see you after the break. Thanks.
Welcome back. The man accused of shooting dead 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell in Liverpool gave evidence in court for the very first time today.
Thomas Cashman, who's 34, denies all the charges against him, including murder and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life.
I speak to our reporter Peter Lane, who is outside Manchester Crown Court for us. Peter, good to talk to you. What exactly did we hear in court today?
I'm glad that lady didn't swear that she realised we're a tea time show. But it shows you how frustrating potholes are. And finally, to the wedding, where the vows were interrupted because alarm bells were quite literally ringing.
It's great to tell this. Some of the guests at Mark Broadway and Jessie Wilde's wedding, who volunteer as RNLI lifeboat crew members, had to dash off, would you believe, to save 2 people cut off by the tide. So, morning suits off, wetsuits on, and apparently at the start of the ceremony, the vicar said, switch off your phones unless you're a member of the lifeboat crew because you might get a shout. And then this happens.
Well, thankfully, everyone was saved, and it gave the bride and groom an opportunity to have this lovely photo.
That's nice, isn't it?
In a lifeboat. Congratulations, Mark and Jessie. What a way to start.
I couldn't resist trying to come up with a pun, so you
know.
judge which one you like, OK? They're in the same boat, like that one?
Yeah, very nice. Go on.
We hope they stay afloat.
OK, maybe not quite as nice.
They start their marriage on the crest of a wave. Hey?
On that note,
We're having that one.
Claire has the weather next. Have yourself a good night.
Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Keep working on it.
Piles raining on your parade? Weather on 5, sponsored by Annusol's Soothing Relief Suppositories.
It turns wet and windy overnight tonight with further showers tomorrow, but also